Hi guys, so I'm here to start another reading vlog, and this one's a little bit different because in this vlog I am going to be reading 3 books as chosen by you guys, my subscribers. So I shared, I think it was 36 books over on Instagram in slides, and then asked all of you to vote on which ones you'd like to see me reading. So I actually had over 200 odd of you respond, which was a big surprise to me. It was a lot of votes to tally up, but it was so interesting to see what the majority was really excited for me to pick up. And I added all of those votes together and made a little Excel document tracking what had the most votes. Interestingly enough, 34 out of 36 of those books got at least 1 vote, and I only added books as they got a vote. So there was 2 books that didn't get any votes. However, there was also some very clear forerunners, books that were coming up time and time again that clearly lots of people were interested in seeing me read and hearing my reviews of. So I'll just go through the votes briefly and then let you know what I will be reading. So this was the Excel document that I made. As you can see, some of them don't have coloured lines next to them, and that means they just got 1 vote. Whereas others clearly have votes that go off the screen all the way up here, so you can already tell which ones haven't made the cut, and we have a few that have managed to go past the screen that I'm currently looking at. So The Unspoken Name, The Bromance Book Club, Woven in Moonlight, Lumberjanes, Truly Devious, Written on the Body. I think those are all the ones that kind of almost made it. Pain and Prejudice was almost there but not quite, and then as we go along some fall off. The Unspoken Name didn't quite make it. However, I did love that multiple people didn't vote for The Unspoken Name, they voted for the Lesbian Orc book, which I appreciated. And then we keep going along, and like I said, there's some that really just went above the rest. The Bromance Book Club didn't make the cut, Written on the Body didn't make the cut, but Truly Devious, Lumberjanes, and Woven in Moonlight. So Woven in Moonlight really just sped ahead of everything else. I was really not expecting that, but clearly lots of people either have already read and loved it or are just really interested in hearing more reviews of it. Equally, Lumberjanes, which surprised me a little bit less because I know Lumberjanes has a massive fan base, so I'm quite pleased that one's made it on there because I've been meaning to read it for ages. And then just made the cut was Truly Devious with 1 vote more than the Bromance Book Club. So that means I am going to be reading in this vlog Truly Devious, Lumberjanes Volume 1 and Woven in Moonlight. So if you've not heard of these books, Woven in Moonlight is a fantasy novel. Lumberjanes is a comic book series that, from what I understand, resembles a group of girls that are part of like scouts or cubs or brownies or what have you, and their adventures. And then we have Truly Devious, which is a YA thriller, and the first in a series, I believe, of YA thrillers. That one actually made quite the storm, I feel, on BookTube when it came out, and it had a lot of fans, so I'm not that surprised to see it on there. And all of these books are books I was interested in, that's why they're on my TBR. Truly Devious is currently available on audiobook on Scribd, so I'll be listening to it on there. Lumberjanes is also available on Scribd. Those were actually 2 of the very few Scribd books that I shared, and then Woven in Moonlight is a book I have on my Kindle. I know I didn't mention it in my video all about unread books on my Kindle, but there were a few books in that video I didn't mention because I also have physical copies of them, because I've been sent both e-arcs and physical arcs, and therefore I didn't include them in my unread Kindle books. I don't know why, that was my logic. Woven in Moonlight I do have a physical copy of, but it's in London, so I'll be reading the e-arc on my Kindle. And with that being said, I'm really excited to read your choices, see if I love them as much as so many of you guys clearly do, and it'll just be a really interesting way to have my reading planned out for me for the next week or so. So yeah, I'll check back in with you once I've done a bit of reading. So I've just read the first chapter or issue in the first volume of Lumberjanes. So I'm reading Lumberjanes Volume 1 on Scribd, and like I said, I've just read what would have been the first issue of the comic book, and I can totally see why everybody loves this series. First of all, the art is brilliant, loving the illustration style. But also, I had no idea there were sort of like supernatural or paranormal elements to it. I thought it was going to be quite like a realistic contemporary, and I guess it could be like Scooby-Doo style and all sort of explained realistically by the end, although I don't think it will be, because there was like weird creatures in the wood that they had to fight, and it was just like, it totally took me by surprise, basically. I did not expect it to be like that, and I'm just loving the art and the humour. I've only read one issue, but I can already see why it would appeal to so many people, because I feel like it's got so many aspects to it that have engaged me already, that if that continues, then yeah, like, I see why you all love it, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of it, and I'm hoping there's more volumes on Scribd, because I already think I'm going to want to binge the series, so that's a pretty good takeaway. I also listened to the first chapter of the Truly Devious audiobook. I was just sitting outside getting a little bit of sunshine in the garden. Not that there's been much of that here in Scotland, but I listened to the first chapter of Truly Devious, which is set in the past. So the book's set now, but the first chapter is set, I think it was the 1930s. So it's sort of like a little flashback, and it was pretty creepy, which is great, because I am so in the mood for mystery thrillers at the moment. Like, all I really want to read are thrillers or like mysterious historical novels, so I'm so pleased that one of those kind of came up in this video, because yeah, I just really want to read them, and I think after I've done all my reading for this video, I'm going to end up reading some like adult historical mysteries and some like adult contemporary thrillers, because I just really just want that page turner fun, basically. But I think Truly Devious is going to be fun. I've only listened to one chapter, so like I mentioned, I've not got much to say, except that I'm just like so in the mood for this genre that I'm glad that I'm about to listen to the audiobook. Yeah, so I guess that's all I have to like update you on just now. But I'm feeling good about those first two books. I haven't started Woven in Moonlight yet, but I hope I like that one as well. So yeah, I'll kind of update you as the week proceeds. Tomorrow is still the weekend, but I'm going to try and actually do some PhD, because I basically spent Friday, as you know, reading instead of doing any work, and I'm going to like swap out those days basically. So yeah, it might take me a little bit to read all these books, but I'll just check in with you when I can. Oh my goodness, I love Lumberjanes. I gave Volume 1 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was brilliant. It was so endearing and entertaining, humorous, cute, intriguing, all of the good adjectives. And I probably shouldn't have been surprised, because one of the co-creators of Lumberjanes, Grace Ellis, writes one of my other favourite comic book series, which is Moonstruck, so her style definitely translates. But I also really enjoy what the co-creator brought to the table with this, because it is like slightly different from Moonstruck as well, so it just seems like a really great combination, like a really great team that have come up with this, and the artwork as well, so the illustrations fit perfectly. But it's about 5 friends who go to this like Girls Scout camp basically called Lumberjanes, and there's all these weird mysteries happening nearby. It's like slightly like paranormal creatures turning up, strange hidden passages, and like ancient layers, and they're kind of trying to figure out what it's all about, and they're so ridiculous but fun, and their group dynamic and their friendship is so endearing, and I just loved everything about this comic book. I can't believe it's taken me so long to read it. I didn't get why everyone was so fussed about it before now, and now I totally do. Not sure I'm articulating it very well, but I loved it, and I am going to immediately read Volume 2, even though I meant to be reading another 2 books for this video, because I just need more Lumberjanes in my life, and I need answers to the questions, because there's so much mystery. It's like an Indiana Jones or like a Lara Croft combined with the Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place, combined with like cute girl power comic book. I don't know, it's everything, and I'm here for it. So I know it's gone slightly off plan, but I read Lumberjanes Volume 2. I just loved it so much, I couldn't not keep reading, and it's on Scribd, so why not? But hang on a minute here. Why? I feel like personally offended by this. Why did nobody tell me that, and I don't want to like give away spoilers, there was Greek myth references in Lumberjanes? That's all I'm going to say, but like, why did nobody tell me that? Because obviously I would have read it much sooner than I already have. It's So good, I loved it. I just love the series. I mean, I don't want to like binge it all and not have any left, so I'm not going to read volume 3. I'm going to focus on other books, but I just had to tell you that I love it, and I'm so pleased I read it, so thank you for voting for it for this video. I have listened to a bit more of the audiobook of, what's that book called? Truly Devious, whilst I've been cleaning this morning as well, and I'm enjoying that. Like, I'm not really into the crux of the story. We have a teenager who's become a new student at a boarding school for sort of like gifted children, I guess, children that have like passions. And there's also been more chapters that reflect into the past, so there's a mystery attached to the school that happened like over 80 years ago or something like that. Maybe some people went missing or were murdered, and our protagonist is also obsessed with solving crimes, and she wants to be like a detective, so obviously she's intrigued by that backstory. But I wonder if something criminal will happen in the present, presumably, because if this crime happened like 80 years ago, I'm assuming nobody who was part of it is still around. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to find out. I haven't like learned much really yet. It's been a lot of like setting the scene, but I'm intrigued, so that's good. I don't know what I'm doing today. I think I said yesterday I was going to do some PhD today, but today the anxiety has just massively caught up with me. Like, I just feel pretty miserable. I feel like simultaneously detached from the world, but also like full of like creepy crawlies under my skin. Like, I don't feel like I can relax, or even just like sit down and read a book, and I just feel a bit like crying, which I'm sure lots of people will relate to at the moment. It's a difficult time, so I don't know, I guess I'll probably listen to my audiobook a little bit more, maybe do some more like organised and just try and find something that will distract me, because I don't think I really have the focus to do PhD, and it is Easter Sunday, so it's meant to be a bank holiday or what have you. Jen, Lauren and I are also doing a live stream in about an hour on Lauren's YouTube channel. That should be nice, at least like hang out with Jen and Lauren and you guys in the comments. Like, I think that's just like really nice stuff to sort of focus on and distract yourself at the moment. So yeah, I'll check back in with you later. From an early morning walk. I haven't been going, I know like technically you can, but I haven't been going out for a walk every single day for exercise, just because I feel like there's other ways I can get exercise. And I don't know, like, I guess, I don't know, I'm being like optimum cautious, I like to think, so I probably go out for a walk about 3 times a week, but I really needed it today, because yesterday, like I said, just the anxiety was just at peak. So I thought it would maybe be a good way to start the day today, just get a bit of fresh air and a bit of activity outdoors by myself as well. So I'm glad I did that, and I've been listening to my audiobook of Truly Devious. I'm now about 30% of the way in, so almost a third. 31% I think it said. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this flitting backwards and forwards. I didn't know it was going to do that, so it continually flips back and forwards between the two time periods, now and the 1930s. So it's interesting, because like in one time you've got like this really dramatic kidnapping going on and all of that unraveling, and then in the present timeline you've got like your bunch of precocious angsty teens in a boarding school, like you would expect from sort of that set up for a contemporary YA, and I'm enjoying it. It's just really good fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it all goes. It's not like too dark because it is like a YA mystery, although I guess it could get darker, and I enjoy our protagonist's obsession with Sherlock Holmes, because I too, although in no way a detective, love me some Sherlock Holmes. So that's been fun. And last night I started Woven in Moonlight finally, and am I 10% in? Maybe I'm only like 8% of the way in. We kind of just got the establishing of the story so far. So I knew from the blurb that the decoy Contessa, the girl that has been standing in for her people's queen in public for many years now, so to protect the queen, is now being sent away to marry the usurper king. So the usurper king wants to marry the Contessa, but nobody actually knows the identity of the real Contessa. So the decoy's been sent in her place, and this decoy is our main character, Ximena, and she's also like trained as a spy, so she's going to like infiltrate this castle. But obviously, I mean, what a life to lead that you can't even live your own life. So I haven't even reached the point where she goes to marry the king yet, so I don't know how all of that's going to pan out, but all of that I knew was coming from the blurb, so that's kind of just been the establishing setup so far. And so far I'm intrigued. Like I said, nothing particularly has happened I wasn't expecting to happen yet, but I will be continuing on with those books this evening. I'm now off to try and crack on with some of my PhD research, so yeah, we'll check in with you later. So I have been working on my PhD today. I am finding some difficulties in not having library access at the moment, as I'm sure many students will feel, because a lot of the material I use is not digitised. It's just in quite like old books. Classics is still quite like an old-fashioned field, to its detriment sometimes when it comes to finding material and research stuff. So I've spent a lot of time just looking for things that might be relevant today, because I'm working on the 3rd chapter of my thesis, and I think I found some stuff. So it's going. So there you go. But I just sort of sat down this evening because I wanted to finish the next chapter of my novel that I've been writing. Like, I'm just writing this novel recreationally because I love the characters and the story and they mean a lot to me. I would love to like pitch it once it's done, but it's definitely not near done at the moment. Having a published fantasy novel is a dream of mine, but I'm also just trying to enjoy writing this book because I've been writing it for like over a year now. But I literally just passed 55,000 words and I felt like that deserved a celebration. I'm just about to start writing chapter 34. So the first 33 chapters are about 55,000 words, like I said, which just feels like an awesome accomplishment. I expect the first draft, given how much I still have to write, to fall around somewhere between 70 and 80,000, but then there's a lot of stuff I want to go back and add in, so it might end up between like 80 to 90,000 when it's done. Like, that's kind of my estimate at the moment, and it's in my head it's the first in a series. Like, the entire world and storyline isn't wrapped up in this book, but I love writing it, so that just felt like a moment. Like 55,000 words, like well done me, celebrate those small joys. So yeah, that's what I thought I might do for the rest of my evening. Maybe write chapter 34, we'll see, and then also continue listening to the audiobook of Truly Devious, because things are hotting up and mysteries are developing and I'm super intrigued. I also think that I might not get all my answers in this book because it's a 3-book series, and I'm not sure if that means there's a different mystery every book or if it means there's going to be some cliffhangers, and I'm a little bit nervous. So I'm just about to head off for our weekly supermarket shop. That's kind of what we're doing at the moment. Every sort of 7 or 8 days I'm going to the supermarket, because I can only really carry enough food for 2 people for that length of time myself, and neither of us drive. But I had to download the second Truly Devious book to listen to an audiobook because I finished book 1 and I need answers. So this is definitely a series where the mystery plot arcs over the whole trilogy, I imagine. At least it definitely goes beyond book 1. I finished it this morning with my coffee, but I stayed up quite late last night listening to it as well because I was absolutely hooked. The first half was like quite typical of your sort of YA novel. Like, it was good but not like blowing me away, but then that second half, could not stop listening, was completely hooked. Yes, everything about it was brilliant. Loved the combination of mysteries over different time periods and the characters. It was so much fun. Really enjoyed that second half, and then yeah, still need so many answers. So I've downloaded book 2 from Scribd on audiobook, which is called The Vanishing stairs or the vanishing staircase or something, and I'm gonna start listening to that because, well, I need an audiobook while I walk, and that's kind of my plan. I'm not gonna vlog listening to the entire second book. I say that unless I manage to listen to the entire second book in the same time it takes me to read Woven in Moonlight, because this vlog will end when I finish Woven in Moonlight, but if I get hooked on book 2 of Truly Devious, then that might take a little bit longer than initially expected. So yeah, pretty successful so far with the books you guys picked, I have to say. Yeah, really pleased. And with that being said, I'm gonna go. Plot twist. I'm not going to finish Woven in Moonlight in this vlog. I just am not getting into it at the moment. I'm about 18% of the way through. I read more of it last night, and it's just not really what I'm in the mood for. And I would quite often put down a book before I hit that sort of 20% point, or before I hit like 100 pages, and come back to it at a later point and then absolutely adore it when I'm in the right space of mind. Whereas I was thinking of like powering through for this video, because obviously it's a book you guys chose for me to read, but I was trying to decide what the priority was, and I feel like the priority is doing the book its justice. So I obviously want to get the most I can get from the book, and I also want to be as fair as I can be when reviewing a book. So I think reading a book at the right time is part of that. And for that reason, I am going to put it to the side and come back to it later, probably only in like a month or so. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm just not sure I want like super action-packed, fast-paced, jumping at the beginning fantasy right at this moment in time. But I love the concept of the book, and I thought there was some really interesting ideas in that first 20 or so percent, so I do want to go back to it, but just not in this video. And I don't want to wait to finish this vlog for like a month when I'm in the mood for the book. So I hope you don't mind and have still enjoyed this video. It went a little bit differently than expected. What I did end up doing was reading 2 volumes of Lumberjane instead of just 1. Not reading one of the books you picked, and reading the first book and half of the second book in the Truly Devious series, because I'm listening to that on audiobook, and it's a lot shorter than book 1, so I'm already quite a way through it and enjoying that as well. So I'm super pleased with what you guys picked, and I've really enjoyed filming this vlog, so I hope you've enjoyed watching it as well, and let me know if you would like to do one of these again in the future where you guys pick what books I read. I can share some of the same books, but maybe like a slightly different selection of books on Instagram or Twitter. Let me know where would be easiest, and I can see what I think when I read your picks, because generally speaking I'd say you picked really well, so thank you. And yeah, I've enjoyed this video, so I'm gonna go though, and I'll see you in the next one.